Okay, so since I've been to Montreal, I've heard the term Francophone and Anglophone. Can you elaborate on these a little bit?
Yeah, okay, so Canada, we like to call ourselves a bilingual, bicultural country, which is true to a large extent, but Quebec is where the Francophone population is mainly concentrated, and then there's still a significant English minority. So in Quebec, basically what's happened with the strike is that the Francophone universities have all voted to go on strike. One of the English universities went on strike to a greater extent, and then my school here, which has sort of tends to be more conservative. It's an English university. There's also lots of students from other provinces, from other countries, lots of students from the United States. So the sort of demographic makeup is really different. So some journalists have sort of tried to portray the strike as a cultural divide, a linguistic divide. And I sort of have a problem with that. Sure, en masse, McGill did not vote to go on strike, for example, but the vote wasn't exactly unanimously opposed to the strike. There are lots of people on campus who were extremely sympathetic to the movement, and other English universities across the province as well. So I sort of have a problem. I don't really think it's a matter of culture, and I don't think it's very useful to, it just sort of gives an excuse for either sides, either English or French, to sort of villainize one another. So I don't really think that that's a very productive way of looking at the situation. And there's just sort of other like demographic factors to take into consideration, like there are more French people in Quebec, so more French people are on strike. And then just sort of looking at the makeup of English universities, where there are a lot of people from outside of the province. Oh, and that's something else. So for anyone who's going to school in Quebec, who's not from Quebec, who's not a Quebec resident, who thinks that this doesn't affect them, every single student in Quebec pays the Quebec tuition that is going up $1,600. Every single student pays that, and then if you come from another province, you pay an out-of-province supplement. If you come from another country, you pay the international student supplement. But every single student in Quebec will pay $1,600 more if this goes through, which it will not. But yeah, it affects every single person, so if you are not from Quebec, don't think that you will be unaffected.
Yeah, thank you very much.